Hello to Winnie, Sterling, James, Roman, and Cleo. Over. And here they are again. Winnie, James, Cleo, Sterling, and Roman. How are you guys doing today? Well, let's go over some words we might see today. Like he, were, W-I-E. Let's see, we could say dad, D-A-D, and, A-N-D, dad, and I, and Y-O-U, me, mom, let's see, mom, I can't find the word it is. Mom is a she. You could say it was, W-A-S, the, T-H-E, it was the dog, D-O-G. It was a dog. No, N-O. It was, it is not, N-O-T. It is not the dog. Yes, I love, L-O-V-E, you, and R-A-R-E. Are you having a happy birthday? It was Holly's birthday, it was Sterling's birthday, but we still have to come, Roman and Cleo and Grandpa and James. They all still have birthdays coming. We're just going to do birthday, birthday, birthday. All right, so if you listen to the last story, we're reading stories from Wannabe Farms. And Wannabe Farms, and here's a picture of Wannabe. There's a barn and a lake and a shearing shed. And this is where animals, and the writer is talking about what the animals are dreaming. And so he says, have you ever wondered what animals think? Do they get bored? Do they mind that they stink? Do they look to the sky? Do they stare at the stars? Do they know that we're sending a spaceship to Mars? Okay, now, you're wondering why this writer knows what animals think. And the answer is, he doesn't know. He doesn't know, but he just thinks that this might be what they're thinking. So, the first story we read was about the cows. And let's see. Well, here's another picture of the farm. And the first story was called The Day the Cows Built a Car. Now, if you recall, they were watching these cars go by and thought it would be so cool to have a car, but cows weigh about 2,000 pounds. So if you were to put a cow inside the car with you and your mom and dad and your brother and your sister, you know, you might have 5 people in your car. a cow would take the place of about 15 people in a car. That would be pretty hard to fit that many people in a car, wouldn't it? So it'd be very hard to fit a cow in a car. And if a cow wanted to take his friends for a ride with him, well, that would be really crazy because a car, they couldn't build a car big enough to fit a whole bunch of cows in. That's so weird. So what ended up happening is they went up on top of a hill to try to see if they could slide down the hill in the car. And what they found out is that they really, really liked being up on the hill. Because there were apple trees, so they had apples to eat, and they had better grass to eat, and they could see the whole city right there from the hill. And they discovered they really liked it there. They really don't need a car to be able to see the whole city. And so, in pursuing that dream, that really was a bad idea. But, let me see the end of this says. Do you have a dream that you want to come true? Well, before you pursue it, there's a message for you. There's no better time to get going than now, unless you're planning on building a car for a cow. That would not be a good dream, but because they pursued that dream, they found something they really, really liked. So that was the last story. So today's story is the day the chickens tried to build a flat screen TV. Spoiler, it went poorly. Okay, so here are these cows with shoes and rakes. I'm not sure why they have shoes and rakes. But, that was when they were trying to build a car, which was our last story. They didn't really know how to build a car, so they were using all sorts of stuff they found to try to build a car. When the cows spent a day constructing their car, the chickens were watching from afar. The chickens were watching them when they were trying to build the car. They heard all the mooing. They saw all the fun. Then they witnessed the massive destruction. Pursuing a dream looked like a fun thing to do. It didn't matter at all if it even came true. But when chickens have dreams, you better take cover. Those birds go bananas. They all act like each other. Birds are going bananas. They get so excited, they form a huge flock. Their eyes get gigantic. They cluck and they squawk. They're nervous by nature. They herk and they jerk. This jittery crew comes completely berserk. There's one chicken there. Yes, when chickens have dreams, you should stay far away. Let me tell you a story. This happened one day. It seemed like a day that was just like the rest. The chickens were quiet, spending time in their nest. But as evening arrived with nothing to do, the chickens got bored. The chickens felt blue. Wasn't there something they could do as a group? Some way to have fun right there in their coop. Then the farmer did something that excited them all. He quickly installed a magic box on his wall. The box had arrived that day in a truck, and when it lit up, they all let out a pluck. Oh, what do you think was in that box? They're all looking at up on that wall. Well, they stared for a second, mesmerized by the glow, then flocked in an instant to the farmer's window. Pushing and shoving, they wanted to see what was this thing called a TV. But its name didn't matter, not important at all. The chickens just wanted this thing on the wall. A mystical box playing wonderful things. They cockle-doodle-dooed and flapped their short wings. Every channel he changed to, every image they saw, sent them into a frenzy, filled them with awe. Boxing, bobsledding, discount betting, a commercial for cars, a royal wedding. A cat on a wire, a roaring campfire, a children's choir, a washer, a dryer. Dolphins, soccer, magic and cakes, women in trucks, men using rakes. Movies and sports, fun videos, plays and cartoons, all kinds of weird shows. A girl singing a song, two men dancing along, a woman in a sarong, a monk hitting a gong. The TV was amazing. They must get one, but how? Then they quickly decided they would build one right now. But before we go on, let's take a moment or two and discuss building TVs. It's something, if building TVs is something chickens should do. To them it seems simple to build a TV, but that idea is absurd for a chicken, you see. Not that I'm saying that chickens aren't smart, but they don't understand airways, computers, or cables, and building large screens, chickens simply aren't able. What does he say up here? But are they as smart as an electrical engineer who understands pixels, gases, and other electronically neutral, highly ionized substances? Are they as smart as Donald Bitzer, Gene Slotkow, and Robert Wilson, who in 1964 invented the first plasma display that led to the flat-screen TV? Are they as smart as Philo Farnsworth, who in 1927 invented what is known as an all-electronic image pickup device, which became the first TV? No, chickens aren't that smart. TVs beam, they stream. They're controlled by remote. They're high-end electronics using currents and volts. They have plugs, they have channels, aluminum frames. They can store your old photos, they can play video games. TVs are amazing, wonderful things, and they can't be constructed by things that have wings. But this crazy flock of chickens had TV on the brain, so they tried to construct one, and it was completely insane. They ran in every direction, hitting trees and each other. One ran over his cousin, one slammed into his mother. Two hens knocked over a big bottle of glue, getting stuck to each other, and an old gym shoe. Oh boy, what a mess they're making. They were looking for things that they thought they would need. Grabbing this, grabbing that, grabbing all with such speed. Some had pipes, some had bags. There was one with a plate. There were 6 stronger chickens with an old sewer grate. Look at all that stuff they went and found. They had boxes and cans and old basketballs. They were out of control, running fast with it all. Bunch of crazy chickens. To the coop they all ran, every rooster and hen, smashing in hard, all 110. What a disaster. They hit with such force. The coop slammed to the ground. It was ruined, of course. It crashed and it tumbled. What was now they're down. What was once facing out now smashed to the ground. But when the dust settled, they stared with delight at the wreckage before them in the warm evening light. Yep, but they knocked everything down. Their coop was demolished, broken and mangled. All that remained was one giant rectangle. It was perched on its side, lit by the sun's glow, bright and inviting, a screen, ready to go.